Welcome everyone to Kiwiradio.nz, your weekly showcase of independent, alternative and new music, mostly from New Zealand, sometimes from overseas, but mostly from New Zealand. And that's what we're doing here today. We're actually going from the big smoke, the city, to somewhere rural in New Zealand with an artist called Mareah Grace. I've got her on the phone right now. Please give a warm welcome. Mareah, how's it going?
Kia ora, how you doing?
Very good. Glad to have you on the show. How's things?
That's good. I'm coming at you live from my bathtub.
Woohoo! Well, just as well we don't have a bath cam, otherwise ratings will be flying off the rails. But if you are listening on the radio stream, we do have a YouTube cam of me, not so glamorous as Mareah, but I am on there right now on youtube.com/@Kiwiradio.nz and every Tuesday as well. So Mareah, thank you so much for joining us here at Kiwi Radio. Tell us, whereabouts is your bath located in terms of city or ruralness? You mentioned you're somewhere in the far distance of the galaxy. Tell us where you are and who you are and what you do.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. My bath is currently located in the west region of Auckland, in an area with a lot of kauri trees.
Hang on, this episode is going to get quite steamy by the sounds of it, so I'm just going to open a beverage. There we go. There's a bit of foley there for you.
Amazing.
Awesome. So West Auckland beaming you to North Auckland. It's going to be a great episode, and tell us about what type of music you're making and what you've been up to for 2025.
2025. Oh, well, I've been an artist, I guess, for about the last 10 years, and becoming a musician over the last year or so has been a bit of a transition into a new phase of my artistry. And it's definitely been something that I have wanted to do my entire life, but never really thought it was accessible for various reasons, So, yeah, I decided to just kind of make a big plunge in my life and a big pivot, and decided, you know what, I'm going to go all in with music and really pursue something that I feel it's just been something that I've always wanted to do, like having a little dream as a kid, and just giving myself the permission to go after it. So, yeah, it's been a big year.
Good for you. And I'm a firm believer of trying those dreams and just going for it, really. And we're here now. You've made some music. Tell us about it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently studying at the moment, actually, music at SAE in Auckland, and it has been this
shout out Molly.
Giving shout out Molly,
one of the tutors there. We had her on the podcast recently, but carry on.
She's amazing. Yeah, it's just been such a beautiful opportunity to really deepen into various aspects, learning music theory and learning the producing aspects and learning in all the different types of music. So currently I'm in a very experimental phase of my musical career. And so, yeah, you'll probably see that in the music that we share today. I have more of a housey kind of funky track, and then more of like a pop funky track, and then more of like an R&B soul kind of vibe. So there's three flavors that I'm currently excited about.
I remember going to music school myself, and there is something about, while you're studying, trying all genres as you're doing now to kind of see where they go, right? And
totally
not pigeonhole yourself into one genre. So that's really cool. For me, as a listener, that's going to be an exciting ride. 3 different dimensions. Let's get started with the first one. But before we do, if you are new to the podcast, we are all about the art of storytelling. Yes, we will listen to your music, but we want to know a thing or two about each song. So does that sound all good?
Of course, yeah. Fire away.
Elemental is the first one. Go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually come from a background of being in wellbeing coaching and supporting people healing their nervous system. So my work is all really come from this place of like being able to expand our own expression and expand our connection to ourselves as creatives, as creators, as artists, because I fundamentally believe we all have a creative ability in some capacity. So elemental for me is it's a journey of like how much being in nature has really like helped me heal and helped support me to see myself in all of the aspects of nature. You know, when I look at fire, I see my passion. When I look at the water, I see myself being cleansed and being fluid and being able to flow and be adaptable. And I look at air and I see my ability to breathe, my life force. You know, I look at earth and I see my animal, my primal. So this song directly kind of has a lot of those elements in it. And yeah, you'll be able to feel it in there. So yeah, enjoy.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. Let's go for it. Kiwi Radio.
Praising our mother. We're grounding in. We're listening. Connected from the side. Feel the beat of your heart. You know who you are. Feel the beat of your love. We are one as we celebrate.
This track is called Elemental by Mareah Grace. You're tuned into Kiwi Radio.
You get to breathe.
You're locked into the sounds of Kiwiradio.nz. We do this every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. New Zealand time here on the station, as well as simulcasting on upfm.co.nz. Proudly sponsored by the wonderful Musician Buddy app, which is developed in New Zealand, a way to connect musicians to their audiences. Try it out for free if you've got iPad or iPhone. A special announcement as well. We do have a artist coming in person tomorrow, which is a special stream at Wednesday, midday, and it's going to be with Amelia Power. So today, if you're listening to this in the future, today is currently Tuesday, 24th of June, 2025, and yeah, tomorrow we'll have Amelia at midday, which will be fun, in person, which will be super fun. Mareah Grace, I hope we can extend that invitation out to you at some point as well, to come in studio. You're always welcome. But yeah, you'll have to make the tracks from West Auckland to North. And but yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. That's a really cool house track. We're going to be doing 2 other genres as well. So yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about your other creative outlets. You said that music was sort of something you added to your creative belt. There seems to be more about you.
There is so much more.
We have
I've
all day.
been
Actually, we have an hour, but
Amazing. Thank you for the invitation. I would love to transport myself from my treehouse over to your studio. So it sounds like a plan. Yeah. In terms of my other work, I've been in a world of artistry for a long time. Myself as an artist, I've been creating resin and crystal sculptures probably for the last 6 years, which took me to Austin in the States last year, and I hosted a retreat over there. So I've become a bit of a teacher internationally.
Wow.
Which has been really awesome. Thank you.
Awesome, that's great.
And I've been working on events and festivals for the last 6 years as well. I worked on a couple of festivals over the last few years, Resolution Festivals, New Zealand Spirit Festival, worked at, another couple off the top of my head, can't remember. But for Resolution Festival, I was the art zone manager, and I got to curate like a whole festival zone. So pulling together artists and giving artists a platform to be able to share their work. And we auctioned off like a bunch of artists' work, which was a really awesome opportunity to get artists making money. And fundamentally, that's been such a big passion for me, being able to create a platform for artists to be recognized and to be valued, because I think that's definitely a big challenge for us at times, especially starting off our career and discovering who we are and what our voice is and what we want to speak to. So
there's so much beauty in what you do, and I want to say this, like, artists always take us to places that it's like a form of escapism, but in a good way, right? So for you, what's the best piece of art you've seen recently or heard?
Ooh.
That sort of changed your mind. That sort of I don't know, captured your attention somewhat.
A piece of art that I've seen. I think it's music. Yeah, it's definitely music. You know what? Nothing comes to mind specifically.
I'll tell you one story, if that's all right, and then maybe you can think of a story while I do this. So it was Matariki recently here in New Zealand, and for those listening overseas, Matariki is basically the New Year's for Maori, and I went to sort of like a food truck festival kind of thing. And they did have a PA, and they did have live music, and it was really good. But for some reason, they had technical difficulties, and the PA actually cut out. And so they had a choir on stage, and because they sung so loud anyways, it was like this airy, ethereal kind of thing. Because, if you've heard the Maori language, it's quite beautiful and mysterious. And we had all these lights and stuff. That was, for me, that was a moment right there. And that was only a couple of days ago because of Matariki. So, yeah, maybe that gives you an idea of what you want to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that speaks exactly to what I'm really passionate about, is like the storytelling and almost like the subconscious communication that artists have. We have such a powerful opportunity to speak to people on a deeper level than the intellect. It really is like a felt experience. And it's a privilege to be an artist because of that,
Music, I always say, it's the business of emotions, isn't it? It's the business of feels. Mm-hmm. So take me back to the next track now. Now let's have a look. Slow Motion. How were you feeling when you wrote this, and what's the story?
I have had a huge journey with coming into my power as a woman and my femininity, and really actually being really proud to be a woman. And I grew up with brothers, and I was quite shut down and quite quiet, and I didn't have access to my voice. I wouldn't speak into my needs or my boundaries or what I wanted from men in relationships. I was just like quite subservient and quite, I struggled a lot in relationships. And so I guess when I wrote Slow Down, it was For me, a conversation that I have been having with myself for a really long time is to just like slow down and tune into my own body and tune into my own breath and tune into what's really present, because I truly do believe that our body has all of the answers and the body can't lie. So when we are quiet enough to listen to what our body is saying to us, then we can move from a deeper place that a lot of people try and complicate, versus just really tune into like fundamentally like what is our capacity within our capacity, and where we can actually meet people and be able to show up fully, versus over promise, or under deliver, all these kind of, I guess, psychological patterns that we can get into within relationships. So slow down is the conversation about, coming back to myself and coming back to loving and honoring and taking care of myself.
That I really relate to that. 2025 has been a kind of ebbs and flows for me, tough seasons with little pits and falls, and then it sort of picks back up again. There is a frequency we can tune into if we seek solace and quietness. And for me, that's gazing up at the stars, intently listening to the waves. It's almost like I'm trying to tune into a different frequency. And some musicians take that to another level. I interviewed a musician. They pitched everything down to 432 hertz. The perfect pitch of like middle C is 440, and there's something therapeutic about pitching musical tones down. And so I think that, if we listen out to certain frequencies or vibration or spirits or whatever you want to call it, there is a healing power.
They can take a fuller breath because there's space for it. And it's a lot deeper ability to connect with people, because you're noticing and you're sensing and you're able to be present to the senses. And that's exactly the reason why, I live rurally, is so that I can also be able to take myself away from all of the people and the busyness and the stimulation. Yeah.
I think the world has become too overstimulated at times with screens and everything. So taking it back with nature and keeping it simple. The fact that you live rural is a blessing, really. Not everyone can enjoy that kind of lifestyle, but I do take a page from that, just finding solace in a quiet space and reconnecting. Yeah. That's really cool. So slow down, that's what it's all about. Shall we listen?
Yeah.
Kiwi Radio, this is Mareah Grace, gracing us with her lovely music. Sorry about the pun there. And I'm just really enjoying these chats so far as well. So cool. Where can people find you, by the way, in case
I've just started a new music page, actually. My music name is Ria Rua, and Ria is what my mum calls me, so it's like a personal, it's kind of like an intimate invitation. And then Rua is my surname, and I'm actually Jewish, and my surname in Māori means two, but in Jewish it actually means the breath and the spirit. And with my work around the nervous system and supporting people with their breath and also the connection to their spirit, it just made sense for me to call myself Ria Rua.
Okay, so
on Instagram.
That's what we're going to call you from now, I guess. It's going to be Ria Rua. Or just Ria, right? Ria. Love it.
Whatever you like. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope you're enjoying your bath there. And it's not every day you get to talk to a podcast while you do that. So that's pretty cool. And
I know.
Yeah, this is good fun. Kiwi Radio, this is Ria Rua. Sorry, Ria Rua. Next track here called Slow Down. Let's listen. Slow down. Yeah. Locked into Kiwi Radio. We're going to edit that one in don't know if you know this, Maria, but it played like a 10-second track. It was 16 seconds. So I don't know if that was bounced
That's
correctly.
so strange.
But we can...
Oh,
we can... If you're listening
my
to this on
bad.
YouTube, we're live. That's how that cookie crumbles. But with my creative
Got a
editing...
taster.
With the creative editing afterwards, if you could resend me that file, I'll play it
Yeah.
in full. So you locked it to Kiwiradio.nz here with Ria Roa, otherwise known as Mareah Grace, and that was Slowed Down. Third track, before we do though, Maria, or Ria, what can we expect from you in terms of live performances or anything like that? Is there something that you can share for 2025? Maybe
Yes.
goals or aspirations?
There's definitely some live shows coming. What I've actually started to realize is I really love playing in collaboration with other artists. So there'll definitely be lots of live stuff coming with, a band and other DJs. I love what is called, some people may have heard of it, some people may have experienced it. I hope so because it's life changing. But I am part of a bit of a community that really gets into like freestyle movement, which is called ecstatic dance or somatic movement. And it's kind of like a DJ'd experience where some of it is guided and some of it's not guided, but it's basically like an opportunity to dance like you would in a club, and everyone's sober, and it's just like a really awesome experience to almost like break out of the shame of trying to perform with movement in particular ways. So I've been going to that every week for the last probably 6 months, but before that I trained as a facilitator in Bali, and I've led some journeys over the last quite a few years. So yeah, I really want to facilitate some of those kinds of experiences as well, and like offer people those types of opportunities to connect with their body and connect with their expression in all forms. So I love also kind of giving people the opportunities to freestyle. And that's something that I'm shifting into as well, with a couple of friends of mine to be doing live freestyle kind of improv sessions every fortnight. We're going live this Friday on YouTube. And
Sweet.
so, yeah, really excited about that because it's something that forces you to be present.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's so honest. I will get that to you as soon as I know. It's actually my friend's YouTube channel.
Okay, awesome.
But
wow,
the thing about freestyling, it like forces you to be present. Like there's no denying it, and you have to be honest as well, because otherwise you lose the flow. So it's kind of like this edgy experience where it's almost like you're free falling over the edge to understand your voice, your artistic voice, and experiment and play and laugh. And so we have a really good time, me and some of my friends. So yeah, I'll definitely share that when we have all the channels live and ready to share.
That's cool. You're doing some cool stuff for 2025. I'm really excited to be a part of it, really. And Celebrate is the third and final track. Tell us about this story.
Celebrate. Okay, so I've been in the healing world for like 10 years, right? And there's it's like the personal development, self-growth. I've been completely consumed with this like idea that I've got to get myself to a particular place so that I can be free and have the man and have the family and make the money. And while all of that is completely valid, right, it can be such a rabbit hole of like endless healing. And so I think over the last 6 months, I just got to this place where I was like, you know what, like I fucking recognize my brilliance. I recognize like the value that I offer.
I just love it when females swear. I think there's something cool about it.
Sorry, Mom.
It's all right. We're rated M on the website.
I got to this point where I was like, I just want to live life and be happy and live in my joy. And it's not always easy. You know, there's always struggles and challenges and stuff that goes wrong and things that we can heal and evolve and grow. But
Yeah.
fundamentally, I'm like, I just want to celebrate being alive.
Yeah.
Like celebrate and be happy and be grateful, because that compounds and you end up like creating a perspective or an identity that really starts to be ingrained with gratitude, and people recognize that, and you become a vibe. You become like a person that people want to be around because you bring more of like the goodness, you bring more of the juice, more of the like aliveness. So this song is really celebrating life.
And
Yeah.
life is a beautiful thing. We live in the third rock, and it, compared to history, we're here for a small blip, and really have a good time. For me, that's listening to a lot of music, and that includes dancing. I remember going out. My brother's overseas now, but we would always go out, and we would try and outdo each other in Melbourne shuffling. But he was really good. But yeah, I had no technique, but I just closed my eyes and felt it, and there is something about that, and just enjoying the moment. You sound like a lot of fun to be around. Really positive energy I'm getting from you, which is awesome. I hope more of that energy can be shared around, because it is definitely infectious when you're with someone with, I call it the light, the spirit. There's something about yes, a small percentage of the population knows how to stop and really admire their environment in a way that maybe others are not as present. And I think artists tend to do that more naturally, per se. I think it's because of I think we feel more. I don't know if there's a science to that, but we do feel more and kind of yeah. So I love what you're doing, is what I want to say. And
Thank you.
And the retreats, the YouTube streams, and everything like that, it's all about spreading positive energy. We definitely need a bit of that in 2025. So find your tribe, add Mareah Grace or Ria Rua to your tribe, and have a real good time while you're doing it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's so true what you're saying about emotions. And I think artists can be susceptible to deeply feeling. And I think artists within our role in society and within kind of the wave of mental well-being is particularly been something that I'm really passionate about, because I've seen so many artists just really grappling with like, how do we create a lifestyle that can sustain us, that can also like be how can we get to a place within operating so that we can create a career for ourselves, but also be able to like, for sure, and be also able to like actually hack it, because artists are quite susceptible to like the emotional roller coasters, the highs and lows. And I think that's our genius is learning how to like turn that into something beautiful without being taken out by it. So that's a big reason.
Quite a deep cut, because you do hear of the artists that go off the rails, and maybe they're feeling too many emotions, or they can't quite grasp all the emotions or plates at once. And what you're saying here is the longevity of it is enjoying life, treasuring the life in its full capacity and length, and enjoying, I call it the different seasons too. Like, I'm not the same person as I was 10 years ago, and that's fine. I celebrate that milestone. The fact that I'm not that dorky 20-year-old anymore that, thinks, it's a different time and age, and aging gracefully as well. Sometimes there's older musicians as well, they tend to get overlooked, but really they're the ones with the lived experience and the stories that we do want to hear, be it with lyrics or whatever like that. So you're talking about the longevity and enjoying the process. What is what I always like to say when you're an artist, really just enjoy the process. Don't focus too much on the product or the outcome. Just have a good time doing it. If you create some sort of passion and purpose in life, be it through art, that's where you get the true joy. That's where you get the true legacy of who you are, and we get to celebrate that by listening to your music. I'm glad you've done it. I'm glad you've kind of overcome those fears of putting yourself out there, because it is quite. Don't you find it quite scary to put music out?
It's so vulnerable. It's not so scary for me to put music out now because I've been an artist for so long. Like I've kind of walked the same patterns over and over. But it's definitely, as an artist in general, you know, it's always like we are morphing and evolving into different characters, and different things want to come through us creatively. So it's definitely fun because, again, same as you, I'm definitely not who I was like 6 months ago, let alone a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
who were you
part of the
6
fun
months
of it.
ago, and who are you now? That's a good question to ask on a podcast.
6 months ago, I was actually a school counselor in a tiny little rural town in Hawke's Bay, and I was working with kids, and I loved it. I loved it so much.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
My profession is I work with the disabilities community. And so for me to come from 20 years of being in tech, and tech is just destroyed this year. It's just so bad. Be it, you know, the AI takeover or whatever it is that's happening. I'm glad I kind of pivoted, because I always felt that I gravitated to roles that center more around people. So that's been my journey. Yeah, definitely not the same person 12, 24 months ago and the person I am now. So there's something cool about that. There's something cool to celebrate. Yeah, sorry.
It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing to actually remember that, because I think a lot of people can get really stuck in the identity of who they think they are for decades even. And it can be so like self-destructive, actually, particularly if we've like really deeply ingrained in some things that are more, you know, self-abusive, particularly even the way that we speak to ourselves, which is why I do really want to focus more on like what can we celebrate about who we are and who do we want to be, and really inspire people into dream and into taking action towards what we actually love, versus complaining and regurgitating again and again like the parts of ourselves or the things that we don't like, or focusing on war. And like there's always stuff that's not going to be right, but what can we focus on about what is right now?
Control the controllables, amplify the positives. I like that. I think that's what I'm getting from what you're saying, because there is a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world, or even in the last couple of years. But I myself, I'm a little bit like you. I celebrate that I'm still alive over all that time. Yeah. That I get to kind of enjoy this little blip of history right now. Isn't it interesting that we were plopped into this very pivotal kind of part of history? Like the last 10 years have just skyrocketed in terms of technology advancements and everything. And yes, war is definitely a part of the human story, and it always will, I reckon, because there's the conflict is natural. There's going to be tribes that conflict with others, and ideas that conflict with others. But what you're saying is focusing on the positives, appreciation and gratitude that you're alive in this moment, and finding beautiful moments while you're at it. Like, for example, you're on a bathtub right now, and what better way to enjoy that bathtub by just calling some dude on the internet, which I'm sure you followed for a long time and plan to meet in person one day. Again, that invite is totally there for you. But, isn't this fun, though? This is why I've been doing this podcast, the 160-plus episodes now. It's connecting with my people, Yeah. Creators, artists are just so fun to be around. So fun. Yeah. And thank you for sharing these moments. I'm sure we can splatter on for several more miles and keep going. But let's play the music. That's what we're all about here at Kiwiradio.nz. If you're enjoying this, the best way to follow Mareah's music is she's got a brand new page dedicated to music, and be one of the first followers. I've just liked it, by the way, as we were talking. And so, Ria Rua, that's where you need to go. So Ria, REAH, RUAH. Quite catchy, actually.
Yes.
Good, very I don't know. There's something. There's symmetry in those letters.
I love it. Yeah.
You know, if you
Also,
put
something I wanted to add about this track as well, just before we play it.
Yes, of course.
A good friend of mine, Jamon, helped with the guitar and the vocals in there because you'll hear his voice. He's got a beautiful voice, so I just wanted to
Nice.
acknowledge him and like just say thank you for his help and support. It's such a it's just something I really want to acknowledge is all of the support, new artists and new creatives who are really starting to find themselves in their gifts. It's so awesome to have people like surround us and kind of like uppy us and just be like, I see you, I got you, let's go. Like I'll do whatever I can to help you. And I'm just so grateful for those people.
Yeah, those cheerleaders are fun to have, you know. And often at times we do really need them because making music, if you haven't done it, is quite scary, at least in my opinion. By the way, while we were chatting, I'm not a graphic designer, but the reason why I think the name has great symmetry is because basically 3 out of those 4 letters are the same. So what I was thinking is have the 2 lines R-A-H, like big capitals, and then the second line is, like a little E and a little A. I don't know. I'm not a graphic designer, but that's
cool.
That's what came to mind, right? That's why I was saying symmetry in those letters. It's quite a cool name, really.
I love that. And the imperfection in that symmetry, too. I'm all about it.
Awesome. Ria Rua, a singer-songwriter from New Zealand. New music coming soon as well. And she mentioned earlier there's going to be new YouTube streams and all this fun, creative stuff that you need to check out. Ria Rua on Instagram.com. Anything else before I play the song?
I wanted to share about a retreat that I'm hosting actually in August. We're going to Hawaii. So if anyone wants to come on a creative 7-day art retreat, we are going to be flying over there and having an absolutely life-changing experience, being able to expand our creative spectrum, I would say, is really playing in all of the edges so that we can kind of develop our sense of who we are and what our voice is, and it's gonna be unforgettable. So if there's anyone who's feeling like they need a creative reset or they want to come along and just like have a huge adventure and climb some volcanoes and swim with some turtles, and you want to get to know other creatives, like let's go.
That's a good vibe. We'll talk about it more as well straight after the track. It's Ria Roy here on Kiwiradio.nz. Simulcast tonight on upfm.co.nz. The track that you're listening to is called Celebrate. Remember, tomorrow we have the wonderful Amelia Power joining us in person. That's Wednesday midday. Let's go, Kiwi Radio.
Bare feet through the church, praising our Mother. We're grounding in, we're listening, connected from the side. Feel the beat of your heart. You know who you are. Feel the beat of your love. We are one. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. All is one and one is all. As we celebrate, celebrate. We are one. We are one. Call to the sea, she will carry me. The energy is rising, and I am aligning. Feel the beat of your heart, connected from the start. Celebrate. celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. All is one and one is all. As we celebrate, celebrate, we are one. We are one.
Celebrate your love. Celebrate your life. Celebrate yourself. We are one.
You're locked into Kiwiradio.nz, celebrating a good time with Mareah Grace. I've got a big grin on my face. How's your bath going? Is it all done?
It's gone cold, so I'm excited to get out.
Well, that's a perfect time to basically wrap up this wonderful episode. Remember to, celebrate life, enjoy it, create purpose and passion, be it making music, being creative, and just having a good time with your tribe. That's what we're all about. And you were saying, retreat. Go for it. Tell me more.
We're going to Kailua Kona, which is Big Island, in August, middle of August, for 7 days. There's going to be a giant house with 7 to 10 really, really epic creatives. So if you're creative and you want to come and contribute your skills, I'm thinking we're going to do a group project at the end of it and do something like raise money for charity or create like a really epic project all together, but it depends on the skills that are all brought to. So it's going to be something we speak about before we go, but I just wanted to put that out there if you want to co-create towards a project. It's going to be an incredible time, and I have some really, really awesome friends who I know who live in Austin, Texas, who are going to be meeting us over there. One of them is an Aikido teacher for the last 30 years. So the things that you learn about moving subtle energy as a creative can completely change your creative experience on every level. If there's any curiosity that piques up, please, because I would love to talk to you about what it would look like. So, yeah.
I remember having a good OE over in Europe with 40 amazing Australians and Kiwis, and just the bond that we had through that time. I think it was about a 4 or 5 week tour. Is so timeless, right? We had moments where I was at the Nile River in Egypt and there was nowhere to urinate, and so we did that in the sand, and just funny moments like that. I'm sure you had to be there, kind of thing, or chasing stray cats in Greece, and just funny, silly things. I think invite your silly side when you are traveling and just having a good time meeting new people. And I hope that retreat goes really well. I'm sure it will. So it's in August. If that sounds like something you want to do, please reach out to Mareah Grace. And I'm sure it won't be the first kind of project. It won't be the last project that you do. It sounds like you've got lots of fun things in the pipeline. And maybe, definitely add going to the North Shore. Now, bear in mind, my availability is pretty slim, but just so you know, it's usually Wednesdays during the day. But if something opens up, or if you've got annual leave or anything like that, please come in. Just like we have Amelia Power joining us tomorrow at midday. That's going to be a fun ride. Join us for that live stream midday tomorrow. But otherwise, this concludes our show. Thank you very much. Where's the applause? Mareah Grace, final 10 seconds. Go for it. Give us the plug.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and there's so much more coming. So, remember to follow your joy and do things that light you up and create in every possible way. Big love.
Awesome. That's such good vibes. That's Mareah Grace, also known as Rua. And please join her journey. Tell her that you heard the music on Kiwi Radio. There's also a link tree if you're confused about links. linktr.ee/Mareah.Grace. So Mareah spelled MAREAH.Grace. And please follow her on all socials, including her brand new music page, Ria Roa, on Instagram. That is it for today's show. Thank you very much to our sponsor, Musician Buddy app. Remember, it's free to download, but only for iPhone and iPad. They're a tech startup over in Hawke's Bay that has been sponsoring the show for quite some time now, and we want to thank them for doing cool stuff. And we want to thank you for joining this live stream. See you later, see you tomorrow, and next Tuesday as well. Kiwi Radio, bye for now.